Network. The show brings the temperature of sports to a whole new level. Whether it's a local opinion or a national agenda, everything is fair game. Remember, everyone has an opinion, but only few can back it up. Now sit back, crank up the volume, and if you think you can handle it, get ready for the heat.
We're live right here again from beautiful Bucks County. It's Tuesday night, Heat Ratio Live. We got Tony Jigsaw Control, we got Dan Old School Green, we got Nick the Scout Tosti, and we got our man Sixers resident half-court Heat, the leader basically half-court Heat because he just hold it down for me and Andre, Mr. Al Griffin. Boys, how was your week? What's good? We're here again at Steam Pub. Make sure you follow at Steam Pub for the real draft list. Listen, on Twitter, every time they tap a new beer, a new IPA, they throw it up there. Nobody else does it. So get down here. Great food, great atmosphere. And again, we got free stuff. Prime Roofing, Yingling, got a little bobblehead museum, got a little Joe Lenardi bobblehead. We'll get to that later. But Dan, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Well, you asked how was the week.
How was the week?
The week's meaningless. It's the weekend. It's the football games. They're just continuing to be on.
Yes. That's just true.
Yes, I mean, it's shocking, but awesome. I mean, it's
very awesome. I mean, we might as well just get right into it because you brought it up. So we were going to start on Sixers, but that's okay. With old school talks, we listen. So we'll go right to the weekend, right? Because this was, I'll tell you what, I did not expect. I want to just know, Nick, I'm going to put you on the spot. Did you have any inkling that Zach freaking Taylor could go out there against Big Red and take down the Chiefs?
Tone, I think it was January 2nd after they went on that run. They beat Baltimore, and then decisively they beat Kansas City. I decided to put a little wager on them to win the Super Bowl plus 1,800. So I had an inkling.
Wow.
I had an inkling. I did have an inkling.
Very nice.
And let me tell you something. Joe Cool, baby. There's a new Joe Cool now. The modern day Joe Cool, with all due respect to Joe Montana. There's a new sheriff of town, and his name is Joe Burrow.
I love it.
Kid can play. Bro.
Yes, he can.
Kid can play.
And doesn't get frazzled. Get frazzled.
Exactly.
I mean,
he's been there. He's been there at LSU. He was there. He's been there. He's so composed, man. He's got the size. He's got the skill set. He's got the poise.
Weapons.
He's got the smarts.
Yeah.
He does have the weapons other than the offensive line. Yeah. It's so exciting to see. They look. I mean, I know we're going to get to this, a little later with our predictions, in the Super Bowl and all that. But they look unstoppable, Tone. They do, man. They're on the road. Wiping everybody up.
Dare I say 2017 Eagles reminiscent of caught lightning in a bottle. And I mean, it's playing out that way, man. It really is. And listen, it's 21-3. If they don't throw that 40-yard screen play to Mr. Pirine and he gets a touchdown, that was a plus 850 anytime touchdown, by the way, which is a huge cash in for anybody who played that. But that changed the atmosphere, man. And let me ask you, Dan, I don't follow college football. I'll be honest with you. I follow the writers, and that's it. I don't watch it. I'm full transparency. How did he slip through the chat? How does he sit at Ohio State? And please, was he behind Dwayne Haskins? I'm not trying to put you on, but
I think wasn't there a scenario where Justin Fields left Georgia to go to Ohio State, which affected Burrow, who then went to LSU? There's a lot of these guys that blocked each other.
I just don't get it. Like, how are you a coach?
I think it was. I think Haskins took his job.
Yeah. What? Okay. How?
Yeah, Haskins took his job.
Right.
Wow.
Like, what are you seeing in practice? Like, I'm just curious, man. Like,
yeah.
Like,
I don't get it.
I hate to say it, but Haskins came and he blew.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't look good at all, man.
Yeah.
And Joe Burrow's just calm, cool, collective, man.
Well, the thing about that team is, you mentioned Zach Taylor, who was kind of on the hot seat for a while, and what I appreciate about what they did was the adjustments. And being Eagles fans, that's been a cry for help through many coaching regimes is the lack of halftime adjustments, as it were. They were down big and they made the adjustments. That being said, I don't know how you guys, I almost equate the way the Chiefs play football with a cat playing with a mouse. And eventually the mouse will escape sometimes. You get too cute, you don't eat the mouse escapes. I think the Chiefs play cutesy football sometimes and get full of themselves, and that game got away from them. I think they were playing. I think they were full of themselves during that game, and the next thing you know, the game got away from them.
It definitely. Oh, we got Pittsburgh John Coker in the house.
Okay.
I love it.
What's up, John?
I can't wait to hear what he's got to talk about. As always, but you make a great point. It went completely the opposite for me. I swore that this game was going to start out super slow, and then they were going to bomb out at the half, and Kansas City Chiefs, and it just didn't happen, man. I mean, it was the complete opposite. I mean, the defense they balled out against Mahomes, and he turned into that Patrick Mahomes in the beginning of the year. He was shaky. He wasn't. What are you doing at halftime? People playing that was on Patrick Mahomes. That wasn't on Andy Reid, man.
Yeah,
I don't see his
100%.
fiance tweeting about that.
100%.
Okay, I'm just saying. Like
I
she's
hear a lot of
right?
Andy Reid hate. That's your
right
star
now?
quarterback right there.
Yes,
He's got to make it happen.
exactly.
And that's not him at the end of the half. He gave you the opportunity to do a quick pass or get rid of it, and you tried that, which I have no idea why you didn't do that pass. That's not on Andy Reid. That's on the star quarterback.
Yep.
I'll be happy to contribute to the Andy Reid hate once we get to that topic.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
But that's a quick corner fade to Kelsey, incomplete field goal. That's gonna be
Slant, whatever you want to do, but very quickly
Yeah.
and then kick the field goal.
Yeah,
You can't give up 3 points. Come on, you're a vet.
Nope.
You're a vet.
Remember, Donovan McNabb did that. Dorsey Levens.
Yeah.
the Minnesota playoff game.
Throw to Dorsey Levens and time runs out. So
Inexcusable.
Trevor, what's up? Trevor checking in. And shout out to Trevor, man. Just got a job with Odyssey out there being a producer.
Good job,
Going to Charlotte. Shout out to Trev, man. As always, the Upper Bowl podcast doing big things. He says I had the Bengals. Good for you, man.
Wow.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Good for you.
That's great.
Yeah.
Honestly. Adam says, how about them Bengals? You know, Adam, as always, man. Checking in. We're all about the Bengals. Vinny checking in says the Chiefs need a 3-down running back. You know what? I like this, Vinny, because I'm a Jerick McKinnon guy. And I'll tell you what, if he's healthy, why can Jerick McKinnon not be a 3-down back?
It's 5'9".
I was about to say that size.
That's it?
Yeah.
He was barreling some people over in that game.
Yeah, but I don't know if you could continue to do that for 17 games.
Well, who does have a 3-down back anymore?
Not in today's world.
Nobody.
Other than
Right?
Yeah, you're
Derrick
right.
Henry. Other than
You're
Derrick
right.
Henry.
Steelers do.
Najee Harris.
That's a
Damian
big
Harris,
boy, though.
Najee Harris.
That's a big boy.
That's a big boy.
That is a big boy. But it's a good question. Think about that. I mean, if you look at around the NFL, how many teams legitimately have a bell cow back?
Mixon.
Yeah, but you know what though? They were throwing Evans in there for a while until he got hurt. Being a year, it wasn't all mixing, right? Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, right? So I guess we could take Derrick Henry. Obviously, I mean, he's just the guy.
Used to be Bell.
Yeah.
Used to be Bell.
Yeah, used to be
In his
Lev.
prime.
Man, how'd that work out for Lev?
He got beat up.
Yeah, but I'm saying, remember he held out.
Yeah,
everything that happened. I can't wait to hear Coker talk about that.
Yeah.
But that did not bode well for Le'Veon Bell. I mean, you know what's funny? Le'Veon Bell to me is, and we all do little sports betting and fantasy sports and things of that nature. But if you never watched Lev Bell and you just went by fantasy statistics, you'd be like, "Oh, this dude's amazing," and then you watch him, and you're like, "Really? This is Lev Bell?" Like, I don't know. Maybe it was just me. I don't know, man. Are we already watching the Flyers going down?
They're already down 1-0.
The Flyers already down 1-0. John, we're talking about your boy Lev Bell. So, yeah, look, he just said, throw the trash down. Throw the trash down. Adam says they need to bring a fullback, bring back the fullback so they get a big back at the goal line, short yardage. Listen, some teams use them, right? CJ Ham is that blocking guy for Dalvin Cook. You got Kyle Juszczyk out there. He plays a halfback role.
Chiefs have one.
Chiefs have who's Chiefs?
49. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Yeah, I can't remember.
The guy
I know you're talking about
Olstein or something.
The guy that they did the challenge on, I think. He was like,
dude, I'm
fourth Yeah.
We're going running backs. I mean, fullbacks here on HRS. I don't know, man.
49ers are always big with that.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, you're right.
Have been, too.
Tom Rathman. Remember Rathman,
Yeah,
man?
Rathman.
Rathman was a beast back in the
Yo,
day.
man. Think about some of the great folk. Remember, what did we have in Philly?
Cecil Martin.
Kevin Turner, Cecil Martin.
Kevin Turner was very good before
John
he tore up his
Ritchie.
knee.
John
When he
Ritchie.
tore up his knee, that was it. But
Yeah.
he was very, very good before he did that.
Michael Burton. Is that the Chiefs fullback?
Michael Burton. Is that a good pull by you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Every blue moon.
Oh, I gotta. This is breaking news right here
Breaking
because you guys are going to open this up. It's my man Chuck. Okay, Chuck and Jigsaw go back to the Philly influencer days where I was running PI on and me and Chuck would get into it back and forth, checking in. My man Chuck, it's nice to see you again, my man. He says to answer your questions, and I'm glad he's doing this because. We'll get his questions and we're going to elaborate on each topic. He says Maxey is untouchable, but the Sixers have to trade Simmons now for a good player or two to help them make a title run this year. And no other quarterback or player will ever win 7 Super Bowls ever again. So, Chuck, we're going to touch on both of them. Obviously, he's going right by the description, which I love. Thanks for checking us out. As always, Chuck, it's good to see you, my man. And he says, and the Bengals will beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. It's their year. I like it. Adam checking in with Mike Allstott. We forgot about Mike Allstott.
I did forget about Mike Allstott.
How we forget about Allstott?
Wow. He was out. Woo. That was a man right there.
Yo, I got one.
That was a man.
He played a lot of tailback too. Though.
How about Peyton Hills?
Yeah.
Peyton Hills. Remember Peyton? He had his heyday, right? I know John ran Peyton Hills. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. What are you?
Purdue's own Mike Allstott.
I know, man. I know.
He was
dude.
a big dude though.
Listen, I get it. There's a lot of things
wanted
on our
to-
mind.
Iron
out there.
Man.
Who
Hayward,
wanted
sort
to
of.
tackle Mike Allstott?
Nobody. Nobody,
Had
man.
no interest in trying to tackle him.
Nobody. Oh my God. Yeah, Mikey V, what's up? Mike checking in says flash in the pan for that Peyton. Hey, what? He wasn't even on the cover of Madden. Remember, wasn't he on the cover of the Madden game? Peyton Hillis, I think, had a
No.
Yes, I'm
Was
telling you, Peyton Hillis was on a cover of a Madden game, man.
I gotta think
Listen,
about that one.
hold on. We got Mike with the Nigerian Nightmare with a great pull. Christian.
Yeah, but he
Okoye.
was
a running back.
He's more
though,
running
right?
He
back.
was just
though.
a featured big man.
Right.
Ooh.
You didn't want to
He was just
tackle
a big
him either.
tailback.
No. I'll tell you what. Nobody. You want to tackle Roddy
He
Hampton
showed
back
the
in the
pace.
day?
Wasn't there a guy for the Bears, Tom Varley? Or
Who?
it'll come to me. The
the
Bears had a fullback.
The
in
Bears?
early 2000, late 90s.
I don't know, man. You got me.
Yeah, you
Adam
got me
second
now.
that. Hey, can't forget about
Moose
Moose Johnston.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. Adam
Moose.
just at the same
Yeah.
time. Moose
Yeah,
Johnston.
he wasn't
I
on
just
the-
couldn't
he wasn't
never
on the
get into
juice.
him because he was a stinking cowboy.
Yeah.
Hampton had legs like tree logs, man. Yo, Roddy Hampton was no joke for the Giants, man. He was no joke. I mean, listen, this show's already going off the rails with fullbacks. I love it. Give us a follow, as always, at Heat Ratio Sports on all social formats
Tommy
on YouTube as
Vardell.
well. Dude, how are you thinking about Tom?
It just popped in my head. I'm
Like,
sorry.
Did you just watch a Varsity
It
Blues
popped in my
marathon or
head.
something?
It popped in my head. Am I right, Johnny K?
Dan comes out of the
Tommy
clear
Vardell.
blue with
Full
down.
power a little bit.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. It sounds like somebody took to a high school dance or something.
He probably was a good-looking guy.
He said, Mike says, I didn't realize it. Just fullbacks thought it was guys we didn't want to get in front of. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is, man.
Yeah.
You're right. It doesn't.
100%.
It could be a running back.
Actually, he played for the Browns.
I'll tell you what. Otis Anderson was a hard runner too, right? Nobody wanted to get in front of Otis Anderson.
Cardinals, right?
Yeah,
Otis and Stump
and the
Mitchell.
Giants. Who?
Otis and Stump Mitchell in the backfield together.
Yeah, old school. Go and bring back Michael Turner.
I mean, we could literally have a show off of football fullbacks
Oh,
that,
yeah.
or just let's just say running backs that you had no, you just didn't even think about
James
that one to
Jones.
tackle.
most feared running backs.
Right, you just had no interest in tackling.
Like, yo, just go, man.
Yeah,
Jamal
yeah,
Lewis,
exactly.
just go, cuz
Well,
we're good.
Quick story.
right.
Yeah.
I interned for the Redskins
I
in
hurt myself trying to tackle
1991.
you.
You intern for the Redskins?
I was a sports management major before I became a teacher, and I realized that it wasn't a field to get a
You
job.
didn't try
in.
to tackle Ernest Biner.
No,
did
but but I worked. The
John
summer,
Riggins.
the summer they had training camp before they won the Super Bowl. I was an intern, and I worked under Mel Kaufman, who was a retired linebacker, And I said, who was the guy that you least wanted to tackle? And he says, by far, Keith Byers.
Keith Byers.
He said he hurts you
He
every
said
time.
that?
Yep.
Wow.
Big
Keith
old number
Byers is a big
41.
man.
Wow.
Check that out.
That's interesting.
I like that. Keith Byers, a big boy, man.
Yeah.
He's a big boy. Who was the cat that we kept bringing back? Andy Reid kept bringing that stiff back in the backfield.
Buckholder?
No, it was Thomas Tapay.
Yeah.
Thomas Tapay. He stunk, dude. Andy Reid kept bringing him back.
Trying to visualize him.
You know about number 41, I think he was, and he had that like Will Fuller like neck pad coming out like it was going to make him any better. Yeah, like he stunk. Andy Reid, I like Thomas Tapay. He was terrible. Mike says, I'm really liking the remote stuff. Great work. I'm Mike, as always, man. Thanks for checking in like you always do, man. Much support. Let's get right to the Sixers talk. That's why, number one, that's why I got our boy out. He did resonate. Listen, if you're not following Half Court Heat, if you're not following Heat Ratio Sports, to see Al just gets at everybody. It don't matter. He does not discriminate. I'm gonna tell you that. I don't care if you're a reporter. I don't care if you're a mom.
Everybody's fair game.
Everybody fair game, man. He goes that he going hardcore. We got to talk about this game last night, obviously, and what the future holds for the 76ers. But when you look at it, Tyrese Maxey fell into the lap, in my opinion, of the Sixers on draft night. I mean, let's just call it the way we are, Al. Can we just say he's untouchable now?
100%.
100%.
Not even a question anymore. Imagine 2 years from now and you gave him up for whatever deal you wanted to do for Harden, Lillard, whatever happens, and he goes boom wherever he's at, and you're looking at him on SportsCenter every single day, just killing the NBA, and we could have had him, and you just wanted to jump so badly that you let him go. I can't do it.
No,
I can't do it.
No, and you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. At the beginning of the year, I was still on that train. I said, listen, you can listen, you can trade Thibault. A lot of people were like, no, both of them. No, listen, I like Matisse. He's an elite defender, but he could be replaced. Matisse Thibault, he could be replaced. Tyrese Maxey, untouchable to me. He has done what nobody expected him to do. I talked about this earlier, way before the show, about him being a student of the game. You look at the history of the way he's been coached, the way he respects coaching. He respects the game. I go down there, I sit across
100%.
from the Sixers bench and watch him. And Al knows this. You guys know this too. Even on TV, every foul shot, he's with Sam Cassell or Doc Rivers. Showing him what to do. He's
Being
buying
taught.
in every single time.
Taking the teaching. Absolutely.
I mean, it's something that's got to happen, man. You just build around Tyrese. I don't want to see, and I think, Nick, honestly, I think Daryl Morey's smarter than this, right? He's smarter than that, right?
Listen, I mean,
I hope anyway.
At the end of the day, it's all in theory. He's untouchable, but with the right trade package, I'm sorry, there's going to be a package out there that would have to make you at least consider it. Now,
not interested.
when
just like that.
I'm not interested.
And I'm not either. So listen, for what you're saying, Tone, with nobody expected this, I don't think anybody expected this coming out of Kentucky as a rookie. But once he stepped onto the NBA court as a 76er, he was dynamic right out of the gate. He was impressing people that really, like, I'm not a super I watch basketball, but I'm not all over like
not
you guys
breaking
are
it down,
now.
right?
But he and my wife too. Like we'll sit there, we'll watch Tyrese Maxey in his first or second game as a Sixer, and my wife's like, why don't they play him more often?
Yeah.
So let me just take this to like from 100 feet to 10 feet for you. You haven't seen a dynamic player at this position at point guard for the Sixers since, dare I say it,
go.
AI.
I said it earlier. Yes.
So
yes,
it is what it is. The kid is an emerging superstar, and he's developing, like you said, Tone. He's taken to coaching.
Man.
He's understanding what it takes to transition into the NBA, into professional sports from college. Obviously he was at Kentucky, so hey,
good program,
listen, you think?
right? I mean, come on.
So at the end of the day, he passes the eye test with flying colors, and I agree with you. If I had to pick untouchable or tradable, I mean, I want to build my franchise around Tyrese Maxey.
You got a piece, man. He's a piece, and I'm so glad you brought up AI. And for everybody, before we start getting flabbergasted here about AI. Listen, all I'm saying is, do I expect him to be an MVP? No, but the energy level, the passion that you see on the court,
work ethic,
right? The work and the way he split the defenders last night. I have not seen anybody since AI do that on the Sixers. Yeah. And that's what makes me so excited.
This kid is just, dare I say, the old school, improving every day. Yep. That's what he's doing. He's improving little things here and there. It's so funny. I was listening to the press conference last night with Doc, and I'm a coach, so I coach my grandson's team, and I seen a play towards the end of the game.
You don't be yelling at the kids like you tweet, dude.
Nah, you can't yell at the kids. You got to teach them. So he had a 1-on-3 break, and he forced it. And Doc said that in the press conference. He said his normal instinct is to take that, but he had two shooters on his wings that he didn't see, and he's not seeing it yet. The word is yet.
Yep.
And that is just he's going to show him that film, and he's going to say, next time, don't force that, hit your wings. And that's what the offense is anyway. So those little things is just going to get better and better and better. And look how good he is right now. Like,
it's crazy, man. It is crazy.
Tony,
talk about this, Dan.
Well, there's two things I'm going to bring up.
Yeah, man.
He does something, and Al and I were talking earlier at the bar before the show started. He does something that I've never seen an NBA player do. He takes it to the hole and always leaps off the wrong foot.
Oh, wow, really? I never noticed that.
And I had to look at some highlights, and I seen it.
I noticed it from jump, no pun intended. He's right-handed predominantly. So when you do a right-handed layup, it's right, left, jump. He always jumps off the right foot. The defenders are flat-footed. They're trying to time a left foot layup and block the shot, and he's going off his right foot. He gets to the rim so fast off the wrong foot, I think it befuddles the players. Start taking notice of that.
I will.
And here's my next.
I'll be there tomorrow. Check it out.
My next point. If you were to look, I'm not going to bore the viewers. So viewers, check out the 2020 NBA draft. And I dare say he would be a top 4 pick based on the names I'm seeing.
100%.
Maybe even third if you want to take Wiseman out of the equation, because he's been injured.
Yeah, he has.
So Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Bell.
Oh, yeah.
And then anything after that, I mean,
it's a crapshoot, dude.
Right. So if we do a draft redo, we have an absolute steal as a top 4 pick in that draft. 20. Yeah. So
what?
So you do not.
And before you start killing Morey,
he went 21st.
Before you kill Morey for all of the stuff that he's not doing, remember he made this pick.
He did.
I did. No, you're right. You're right.
When all the people on the radio, WIP, and everywhere just murder Morey, do something. He made this pick.
No, you're right. Listen,
that was his first draft.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was his first draft.
Yep. Came in like gangbusters, made the Horford deal, and then got Maxey.
But not to play devil's
advocate. And Joe, by the way,
not to play devil's advocate though. It's not like he traded up to get this kid. He fell in his lap. I mean, it was a no-brainer, wasn't it? I mean,
you still have to make the pick.
Who was drafted after Maxey?
You got the kid from last night, Bane.
Desmond Bane.
He was projected as a shooter, but you're right.
Come on.
Sadiq Bey went a little before him, but after I'm looking at the legendary Peyton Pritchard.
Was that the Carson Edwards draft where everybody wanted Carson Edwards in the second round?
Cole Anthony went 15.
Yeah, I don't see Carson.
No, maybe that was the year before. Maybe that was the year before. Cole Anthony's a nice player, man. I like Cole Anthony. But I think listen, I think we've established it, right? That you so here's what I think is going to happen. What do you think with this, Dan? As much as listen, I tweeted today. I'll say it again. I'll say it continually. Number one, I never liked Ben Simmons when I drafted him. I always said from day one he was never going to work out. Said it from the jump. listen, it is what it is. You might as well just take him Brandon Ingram because it was never going to work out here. It's not, unfortunately, it's come to fruition. But here's the deal. I don't think, right now, the way this team is playing, maybe you shouldn't get another piece to insert into that lineup. Maybe you just got to enhance that bench.
Well,
right. And that
I mean, that's what it seems like we're at right now,
that's
right?
a very good point.
Because it's chemistry, right, Al?
Right, 100%. I mean, I was thinking about that ever since last night.
It's
and
tough.
You can't put a major piece in this group right now. They're tight all together. They go out. They talk about it all the time, how much they're a together team right now. The only thing that I would even think about adding right now is a veteran point. That's it.
Yes.
If it's not that, then I don't know
that.
if you can touch anything else right now because you can't take minutes from the people that have been busting their ass literally all year.
And the buyout is where you can get that done.
Right.
You don't even have to make a significant trade for that.
Right.
Because the buyout players might want to see us as an attractive team to join.
Right.
I agree.
Especially if we're in that number 1 seed again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which we're a half a game back, by the way, folks. Half a game back.
Without Ben.
Yeah.
Right.
And I hope Ben's taking notice, to be honest with you, but I'm sure he's not.
So I don't like the quote on the radio, but again, I thought this was a really good point, and I'm curious on that note because Al brought up the number 1 seed. Kincaid this morning, John Kincaid said on the Fanatic, he was like, "Well, aren't we better off right now without Ben? Because in the playoffs last year, if we lost because of Ben, why would we want him back for the playoffs?"
Well, you know my side.
I'm curious.
I haven't been saying that the whole time. It's real easy to jump on and say Ben did this and Ben da. Stop.
I don't know, man.
When you had your best player having 9 turnovers, when you had Tobias missing 2 layups, when you had your rest of your team having like 20 turnovers, you can't win like that. So yes, Ben contributed, but the old narrative, Ben lost us the game. Stop it. Come on, move on.
I don't think you can move on.
No,
they schemed against him. It was embarrassing.
He's a regular season player. No, so regular season Ben could definitely lock them into a top seed. Absolutely. From that perspective, I'll disagree with Kincaid. Regular season Ben would have them at a better record. We wouldn't necessarily see the development of Maxey the way we are, but they'd have a better record. But Tony, you and I were the only ones trumpeting the fact that, and Vance and I were there too.
Yep.
I have to see what playoff Ben looks like because he was a disappointment every playoff year except for the year he was injured. And playoff Ben last year was an absolute disaster. So,
playoff Ben was a disaster in the Hawks series. Not the first series. The first series he was not. He
bad.
Still
wasn't shooting the ball though. I mean,
but you're saying disaster. Disaster and not shooting is 2 different things.
Well, but that's part of being playoff Ben. You when a team doesn't have to guard a person with the ball and can just fade back and double team a key player, that's huge in the playoffs.
Okay.
They created the wall, and if you're not going to stop and pop an 8 to 10 foot jumper, you're a detriment to your team in the playoffs.
But the series before who was it? Boston. They
played.
It was a hack. It was a hack.
We played Washington. We played
night.
Washington that first.
Yes.
Series.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Washington.
Yeah.
Hack it
And,
back.
and he was embarrassing at
Yes.
the foul line.
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
But
Sorry.
And the same goes for Doc Rivers for me. We had a debate last week. We had a
Bring on
debate.
the Doc. Here we go.
Listen, Doc has had games where Al can speak to this better than anyone, where you can't blow lead after lead, and part of that is knowing when to call timeout. Part of that is knowing when to get a guy out of the lineup because they're fatigued. So I need to see playoff Doc coach as well. So there's a lot of question marks that in this sport versus other sports, I believe, regular season and playoffs.
We talked about this a little last week where I have always said it's way too much blame on the coach and not enough responsibility taken by the players. When he got slammed, and he constantly gets slammed for the Paul George and Kawhi. Paul George stunk up the joint in the playoffs. That's not Doc's fault.
He did.
Kawhi did his thing, but he was out there by himself. Paul George wasn't helping them on why they collapsed and other things. other things can happen in the series that, yes, everybody takes a responsibility for you losing. But again, I'm never in a theory. I don't care football, basketball, baseball, any team sport of one person, and that's the reason why you lost.
So let me ask you guys this. Is it a different style of team that we're going to see in the playoffs? And what I mean by that, obviously the playoffs are a different animal. I get that. But can you see the way this team is constructed right now? Because obviously, listen, Miami's going to get healthy again. Milwaukee's going to get healthy again. The East is wide open. I get it. But when we get in the playoffs, can this team hold up? I mean, you mentioned ball handler, Dan. It's a brilliant point because I swear to God, I'll blow my brains out if I see Cork handling the ball again.
You have
that has to stop. That's what I'm saying.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Right?
Why I need a veteran point.
Yes,
that's why I need a veteran point. And by the way, the NFL playoffs has told me that anything can happen.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that the Sixers can't make it to the finals after this NFL playoffs.
You're right.
Every underdog that was not supposed to win won, and on the road, by the way.
You're right.
So
you're right.
Every sport is how you enter the playoffs, right, Al?
Say again.
You have to enter the playoffs hot.
Yes,
that's important.
You got to be blazing, man.
Yep.
HRS style. You got to be blazing.
Yep.
100%. So, listen, trade deadline February 10th. So
you already know what I think about.
So Al, easy question. Does Ben get traded or no?
Absolutely not.
Nick?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you think he's? Oh, I like that.
I mean, to Al's point, where if you can now, seeing what's happening with the development of Maxey, you can trade for depth, you can trade for bench, you can trade for what it is that all the rest of these GMs in the league are waiting to the last minute at the deadline to do. And I think that Morey's going to make it happen. He's got it. The distraction's got to go away going into the playoffs.
I like that. I like that call. What about you, Dan?
I don't know.
Hold on real quick. You do know after this trade deadline, it's over.
Yeah,
it will be no more talk about Ben
till the summertime.
To the summertime.
Well, they'll be talking about Ben because
he's still under contract.
Yeah, Mr. Paul at Clutch Sports will be putting his little innuendos out there.
He's not
Ben doesn't want to play.
If he doesn't come back immediately, then it's over.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even want him to come back at this point because you're messing up all the chemistry you have with everybody.
Right. You see that team. They're so
at this
happy
point,
together.
You're either going to trade them or I see you in the offseason.
So Vinny checking in says the Sixers are one and done as currently constructed. The Lakers just showed you how to defend Joel in the playoffs, and teams will key on him without a lead guard. It's a good point, though.
Did we have Steph Curry in that game?
That's a good point, though.
Did Steph Curry play in that Lakers game?
Did Seth Curry play last night? He sucked too. So you got to be careful. You're. Here's the thing. I like Seth, but you're overexposing Seth Curry.
Right?
38 minutes a game, Seth Curry.
Well,
he's dead.
Who's going to?
Ever see that ass he's going to carry down the court?
Who are you going to put in there?
Well, that's the problem.
Buddy Hield.
But I love it.
Buddy Hield.
I love it.
I would love Buddy Hield on this team.
Yeah. We got YouTube checking in. Nemo checking in says Ben got to go. Yes, listen. I shipped Ben out in the off season, so he's already been. I said I don't care about Ben right now. I could care less. I don't want to hear any more stories. I don't care. Oh, Joel said I couldn't play. Like, stop it, man. You're a grown man.
I'm glad Shaq destroyed him.
Yeah, Shaq. Shaq
he ripped his face off.
And Barkley was killing. They were all killing him, and rightfully so. Yeah. And here's what I like about that. They destroyed Joel last year too. And what did Joel take it? He took it as constructive criticism. He took it as a drive and a future fuel to say, I'm going to be better. And look at him now.
Absolutely.
That's the difference. Yeah. That's the difference. So let's get to our first trivia question, as always. We're going to have one trivia question tonight. And tonight, trivia question brought by three people, as always. It's brought to you by, number one, by Prime Roofing of Southampton, PA. Not only do they rescue your roof, but they get it done right. Visit them today at www.primeroofingpa.com. You see the shirts up there. You see the hats. All always available merchandise for answering these trivia questions. And then we also have the Joe Leonardi bobblehead as well, brought to you by the National Bobblehead Hall of Fame, who houses the world's largest collection of bobbleheads. Visit www.bobbleheadhall.com to see what's new today. And then we have one more Phillies prize pack. Okay, then I'm waiting to give out the special special contestant, and that's brought to you by America's oldest brewery, which is Yingling. From their traditional lager to their all-new flight, they have a beer for you. Visit www.yingling.com for new products. Trivia question is, and it's a good one, it goes with the setting of what's coming up, right? So, and I got to get to it, Shane. I got to find it here. Right? I put it in there. I thought that is it name? No, that's not it. Hold on. I did get it in here, right, Dan?
You did. I saw you type
Yeah,
it.
I saw you put it
Right,
in.
we were typing it, and did I never save it?
I was doing ask you, did you save it?
I don't think I saved it.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. That's all right.
Dan is a backup, though.
Don't
you remember, Dan?
Yeah, I know the question.
Okay.
What?
I created the question.
Go ahead. Let's talk to me. Go ahead, Dan. Talk to me. I'll tell you.
What two coaches
Okay.
faced each other the most in NFL playoff history? And for bonus, how many times?
Ooh.
So what two coaches faced each other
The most in NFL playoff games.
So start thinking, people.
And how many times did they face each other?
No Google, folks.
Yeah, no Google.
Yes. Or Yahoo.
Don't cheat.
Yeah, we don't discriminate. Get Yahoo.
Or DuckDuckGo.
Oh yeah, what is DuckDuckGo? I heard that on there.
It's like you know how like if you were to say, hey, I want to buy a dumbbell set, and then the rest of your life you get dumbbell ads popping up on your computer.
Oh.
Yeah.
DuckDuckGo,
it's like
if
an SEO
you
thing.
search something, it won't keep popping up on your computer.
Okay.
It's more private.
So bonus is how many times you said, right?
Correct the mundo.
Hell. many
I'd be
times.
very impressed if somebody got both of those.
This is an old school question, man. So, from an old school guy, what two NFL coaches face each other the most in NFL playoff games? Bonus, how many times? So, again, got a lot of good merch for you. Let us know. Don't Google it, man. Don't Google it. Be square, man. Be square, right?
Don't cheat.
I will
Don't
find
cheat.
your IP
Don't
address.
cheat. And Adam checking this is awesome. Adam was a recipient of the Yingling prize pack, as always, which was really, really good. So I know he liked that as well. So let's change course a little bit. And I think it's going to be a good question. I know Nick is chomping at the bit over this because Mr. TB12 news broke that finally Tom Brady announces that it is true. He is retiring, right? I think we all figured that this was going to be the case. As soon as they lost that game, I'm like, look, he's done. I could tell. You could tell by his body language. The question, though, will anyone ever win 7 rings again? And I think it's the obvious question. And then the other two part of that is, speaking of retiring, is Andy Reid next? Because I feel a secret little feeling in my stomach that Andy Reid is going to walk away this year. Just I'm listen, Andy Reid's been through a lot, and I understand that that's his element, right? But I think you get to it. How old is Andy Reid? 67, 68, 69?
I don't think he's that old.
He's not that old?
He was like a young man. He's in the early 40s with the Eagles.
All right. Well, I just think that eventually he's just going to kind of go away to pass side.
The beat down effect.
That because listen, we heard the stories about
and the son's trials didn't even come up yet.
Well, that's the other thing, right?
63 Tom.
Wow, he's only 63.
Yeah, it looks good, doesn't he?
Yeah, that was a cheeseburger away from
good looking
64,
63 there.
He lost a lot of weight,
Yeah,
right?
He'll find it
And
again.
I think that's why Bieniemy's not going anywhere, because I think Bieniemy's the heir apparent.
Think you'll just take over.
Yeah, I do. I think he's the heir. I think he's had some offers here or there.
And it wasn't the right one.
But here's
He
the
said,
other
"I'll
thing
stay
about
here."
that. So let's get to this question as well as this one too. The old offensive coordinator, Mr. Doug Peterson, he can't get a job either. So I understand that Doug won a Super Bowl, but I was always not on the Doug Peterson wagon. I was always saying he was a fraud. That Frank Reich won that Super Bowl. And right here, well, here's the thing, Al. Doug Peterson was so good, right? He was so good in his interview that they interviewed Tom Coughlin after and offered Tom the job.
Right.
Doug wasn't even number one.
Right.
So, and now I think that the NFL is catching on. Like, you know what? This cat couldn't even call the plays at Kansas City. And look how he basically everything fell apart when Frank Reich left for the Philadelphia Eagles. And now he can't get a job. So I think that adversely affects Eric Bieniemy because he was the next offensive coordinator out there. So I think that, unfortunately, I think that's a problem. But let's get to, will anyone ever win 7 rings again. Dan, what do you think, man? I think it's no.
No, not at the quarterback position for sure.
Well, yeah, I should say the quarterback position, right?
No, because I mean, you had the guys like
Ring
Charles
chasing.
Haley that won, I think, 5 with the Niners and the Cowboys combined. That's a lot, but it's not 7. So I say no. There are certain records in sports that will never be broken. Ripken's playing streak. There was a goalie in hockey, Tony, named Glenn Hall, that played 500 and some straight games.
500.
That'll never
straight
happen
games.
again. We're talking about giving Carter Hart 3 games in a row. It's
Right.
like a blasphemous, right?
Gretzky 92 goals.
Gretzky's 92 goals. Gretzky's 210 points.
Cal Ripken
Ty
Jr.
Cobb.
Well,
Right? Cal Ripken Jr.
Well, we talked about his playing game
Right,
streak,
yep.
right? And Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak,
Right.
and stuff like that. I cannot see.
Didn't Ty Cobb hit 400 too? Do you think that can be done?
Well, Ted Williams hit
Ted Williams.
Oh, wait a minute.
406 in
What
1949.
What about Barry Bonds' home run record? Even though nobody wants to support it, but
The all-time number? No,
never, ever
no,
again.
no. Even
Never
the yearly mark? No.
No, never again.
So to answer your question, no.
Adam second in for the trivia question says Bill Walsh and Wade Phillips 5 times.
Adam, no.
It's a good guess, though, Adam. Bill Walsh, Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips, very underrated
But
defensive
He
coordinator.
might have faced him as a
Defensive
defensive
coordinator, but not coach.
Right.
head coaches.
Right. Head
He
coach.
was
horrible.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Very underrated defensive coordinator.
Yes.
He was
Yeah.
one of those cats like Ray Rhodes who should not have been a head coach. Just stick to the
Right.
coordinator role,
Yeah.
man. That's your
Right.
bread and butter. That's like that stiff Vic Fangio. He needs to stick to being a defensive coordinator because he can't call a game to save his life. Al, you got to fit Darrell Wilson second and said, "Good job, brother." Al. So you can't see that if you're not seeing that. So that's your fan, Al. So Dan, you say no. Nick, what do you think, man?
No.
I think it's a no-brainer,
Come
right?
on. 7 rings and 10 Super Bowls. I mean, first of all, the combination of him and Belichick, which is really, you got to put those two together. And a big part of the reason why Brady was able to put 7 rings on his fingers. Well, 6 of them anyway.
I go the other way around on that one.
Oh,
That's what she said.
really? After this year, I mean, taking a team with a rookie quarterback and having the run that they did, I don't know. Look, Belichick's the GOAT when it comes to coaches.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But
And-
he doesn't win the rings without Brady.
It 7 rings. I don't know if anybody can get 3 or 4, let alone 7.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Rodgers has got to be the one that has a shot right now,
Mahomes, I would think.
and Mahomes, right? But
In today's,
uh,
I don't think
I don't
so.
know.
I don't see it.
A lot
but,
of great quarterbacks.
To your Andy Reid point, Tone.
Yeah, talk
What's
to me.
his legacy? I mean, if he's going to retire, what's his legacy look like right now? I mean,
I
you know what?
said
I mean,
some Andy
I-
Reid.
Oh,
we
boy.
don't like the Andy
How many,
Reid.
Oh, boy.
how many conference championships, Nick?
how many did he get to, or how many
How
did
many
he
did
win?
he get to, and how many did he lose and win? Yes.
Well, what did he get to? 8, 9?
Yeah.
It was at least 8.
He's been to 3 Super Bowls.
Right. So he's 19 and 16 in playoff wins. But you know what? I've got I'm sure we all do have some Giants fans friends
Oh,
that
yeah.
they're probably tuning in right now. And it's always they're always throwing the 4 Super Bowls in your face.
Yeah.
Oh, we got 4 Super Bowls, you got one.
The whole division does
I don't care about how many NFC championship games he's been to. I don't care about how many playoff wins he has. Andy Reid, or any coach for that matter, that comes and suits up and stands on the sidelines for the Philadelphia Eagles. I want Super Bowl wins. I want
I'm
you
with
got to
you, man.
get there and you got to finish. You got to finish the season and hoist the trophy.
Andy Reid choked a lot.
Choked a ton.
A lot.
A ton.
A lot.
But I will.
Carolina,
Yeah. Well,
Jake Delhomme.
well, I
Jake Delhomme.
Jake Delhomme.
Are you
and-
kidding me?
Yeah.
Jake Delhomme.
How about
the
Brad
best year of his
Johnson?
career, too.
Brad Johnson, Joe Juravicius.
Hold on. How about Jim freaking Fossil beat you, bro?
Yeah.
He took your lunch money.
Yeah.
Jim Fossil stinks. Like think about some of these coaches that Andy. Listen. I got love for Andy because I just think that he was a player's coach, and we did win a lot of games. But god damn, did he get out coached a lot, man?
Well, his second
really did.
his second tenure though, Tone. You have to give him credit for his innovation. I mean, we
Uh oh.
were in a spiritual
Yeah. What's
Steam
going on?
pub, You can order your drafts in advance and your
Yeah.
spirits. as
Well, listen, the light just blinked. That means the real-time draft
Yes.
the real-time draft beer list just changed.
Yes.
There
All
you
right, so
go.
new beer
There
on
you
tap right now, IPA. Obviously at Steam Pub. Check them out, all social formats. You can follow the live draft list live right on Twitter. Go ahead, Dan.
Now, obviously, a lot of what Andy Reid has done with his second life, as it were, with the Chiefs, is based on his personnel. But imagine if he had that creative gene with the Eagles.
Oh.
I mean, but he refused. Woo. He refused to address speed and receivers with us until finally T.O. came aboard. But ever since he's been with Kansas City, it's been nothing but speed at the wide receiver spot.
Yeah.
And he's been his play calling or his play design is ingenious at times.
No.
I'm in awe of it. And I will say this, and the Super Bowl that they won, they should have lost. Your guy Shanahan blew another Super Bowl, in my opinion. He blew the one as the offensive coordinator with the Falcons, where he was letting Matt Ryan.
Wait, hold on. My man Cross did win the
Yeah.
Rams. McVay will be in the Super Bowl, baby.
Yeah, he had a nice half with challenges and timeouts. But anyway,
If I went that way, he's number one for me.
he is
I'm
sure.
just saying, he's cute too.
But Shanahan was
I'm very comfortable with my man. But I'm just saying,
that's okay.
good looking dude,
You know,
man. He's like McDreamy on Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
McDreamy. See, I do watch that, by the way. Just so you know.
You're
I go
totally-
way back. I'm a 90210 guy. Jenny Garth
I don't know if
was
you-
on the wall.
I don't know
That's
if
all
you should.
say.
I don't know if
Jenny
you.
Garth was on the wall.
I don't know if you should admit that on the air.
That's okay. I'm good.
If you want to have your train of thought destroyed, have Tony sit next to you talking about man crushes.
Kelly Kapowski.
Yeah, but anyway, so Shanahan again is an innovator as well, and he's a good. But he blew the Super Bowl as the offensive coordinator, snapping the ball over and over again with 12 to 15 seconds on the clock the whole fourth quarter. The Super Bowl against the Chiefs, they had under control, and he blew that one. So to Nick's point. He got a Super Bowl ring, God bless him, and I was rooting for him because it's like you kind of want that on his resume for all he's done and the tenure he's put into the sport. But his big game coaching record is not that great.
No,
but I can't. Can you blame? Was there anything that stood? Obviously it's 50-50 whether he gets the heat for the end of the half debacle. But I blame that. I blame that on the quarterback.
100%.
So I don't blame that on Andy Reid.
100%.
So
well, I think
I don't blame it on him either.
What your question is going to be is you need to make the adjustments that coaches make when in the second half.
Zach Taylor.
That is his staple.
Yeah.
That is his staple. He never made the adjustments
Never.
when he was your
Never.
Now,
let me-
time management. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a question though.
Terrible.
Was it that he didn't make enough adjustments, or was it that somebody got a little tight? And I mean Mahomes. Something wasn't right in that second half. I wouldn't say it's all Andy Reid. I don't know what was the difference between the first half and the second half was night and day. Was that the coach?
No,
Or was that Mahomes?
I think it was the Bengals defensive scheme.
And they can't run the ball. On
right?
top of that.
Yeah.
So
that's huge.
listen, if you look at it, right, I don't know what his numbers were, but Tyreek Hill got shut down in the second half. That is their playmaker, right? That's 100% their playmaker. Tyreek Hill got shut down, and they could not adjust to that. And again, they got Patrick Mahomes moving around, but they kept them in that containment, right? And I think that was the biggest issue.
Cooper Kupp didn't have any problems getting open.
No, yeah, I
Ever.
know.
I've never seen a guy that everybody knows going to get the ball and still gets the ball.
No,
yeah, I mean, Kelsey is that guy to some extent also. But to Tone's point, if you looked at the replays when he was doing his running around the pocket, they would show the overhead, and every guy was covered like a blanket.
Yep.
So it wasn't like Mahomes was missing wide open reads.
Right.
That's where you have to give credit to the Bengals coaching staff. The second half adjustments were great, and I think everyone's points are valid. I think you're right, Al. I think Mahomes didn't have his best second half. Am I as loud as the audience over here?
We got a lot of stuff going on over here.
We have Jay on, and he's not even on.
Yeah. Jay's not even on the mic yet. We can hear.
Jay's in my ear, and I
I hear Sports Killer. I hear that from a couple weeks ago. Going,
He's making
come on,
Nicky
Jigsaw.
Nuts, soft-spoken.
Yeah, wait, hold on. We got yo, Adam checking in. This is a good one. Adam checking in, keeping the comedy going on the show. Adam says Dan reminds you of Joey Gladstone on Full.
I get that all the time. I get that all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't like it, but I get it a lot.
What do you used to do? Cut it out? Remember
Yes.
Joey Gladstone?
Yeah,
wow.
I get that and Tom Cruise all the time.
Tom Cruise. Yeah, wait a minute. Because I meant to say, because I'm very sad. Okay, we're talking about celebrities now, and I'm very sad that my ultimate hall pass, Rihanna, is knocked up right now by ASAP Rocky. My chance is gone. I had the hall pass. I got a hall pass. I know it's never going to happen, but Rihanna, right behind J-Lo, man, they're going to 1A, 1B.
And
But
a basketball analyst too. I
God
believe.
bless ASAP Rocky. That's all I want to say. God bless. Okay, that's all. That is one hell of a woman right there. But love you, babe. But anyway, let's get back to we're going to Andy Reid.
Get back on
But
track.
let's get back to the Tom Brady talk because the point came up with Nick made, and I think him and Dan were going back and forth. Was it Belichick? Was it Brady? Was it Belichick? Was it Brady? I think it's an interesting discussion, and I don't think there's a right or wrong answer because I do think that both of them are the GOATs
Yeah.
in both perspective positions. But
100%.
I'll tell you, must be a new beer coming on, new draft coming on with the lights are flickering again, or is Jay talking, is getting scared by the light? But Dan, who is it? Is it Belichick or Brady? Or are they a combo?
To some extent, they're a combo, but I definitely lean more Brady because I'll answer a question with a question.
Yeah.
If the serendipitous happenstance didn't happen where Bledsoe got hurt,
Oh,
do you see Bledsoe
That's a good one.
and Matt Castle with Belichick over 20 years winning all those Super Bowls?
Matt Castle. You just
Yeah.
brought him up.
I'm sorry.
No, ultimate stiff. Him and I think Matt Castle and Chase Daniel have stole so much money than anybody else in the
Castle won
NFL.
11 games after Brady tore up his knee that one year.
Yeah, but then
And
that was it.
And then he went. Then he might have. He went to another team afterwards.
He went to I think he went to KC.
KC.
Yeah, and stole money.
He was terrible.
It's a Scott Mitchell syndrome. You have one good year,
Oh,
you go somewhere else.
Scott Mitchell.
Trent Green.
Wow.
Yeah, but the
I
ultimate.
mean, there's some stiffs.
So that's how I kind of analyze it. I did another shameless plug on my quick takes. I did
Old School Green quick takes.
I did the greatest coaches of my lifetime, and Belichick was in the conversation, but I dismissed him because of this commentary. I believe of all the coaches that were in my quick take, he was more reliant on Brady than the other players. The other coaches were reliant on their players. So anyway,
I think Nick's headphones are going out with the light.
oh, your headphones aren't working, Nick?
Yeah.
All right, I'll repeat everything I said, Nick. No, no, I ultimately think Brady was the bigger asset of the two. That being said, if Brady was drafted by another team and, rode the bench for X amount of years and was never given a chance, the same thing you could say with Kurt Warner. What a wonderful circumstance he had happened in his life. Otherwise, how many Kurt Warners and Tom Brady's are out there that just never got the opportunity?
Bagging groceries at Gennardi's.
And then you could even have the other argument of the what if Archie Manning played for the Steelers and Bradshaw played for the Saints? It's just life is about where you're placed. And it just so happened that Brady got
Timing too.
the timing. Yeah. So that injury that I'm trying to think of the linebacker that destroyed Bledsoe on the sidelines changed the history of the NFL.
Who was it?
Mo Lewis, maybe?
Mo Lewis.
Was it Mo Lewis? Al?
I don't know. I don't even know who the hell Mo Lewis is.
Adam, look that up, please. The linebacker that ended Bledsoe's season.
Mo Lewis played for the Jets.
That's
right?
correct.
Right.
Damn.
I could be wrong.
I'm out on Mo Lewis.
It's happened once before.
You don't remember Mo Lewis?
Nah,
He
bro.
was
I don't know
pretty
nobody
good.
named Mo.
Played
Well,
for the trash Jets, but
Yeah, audience, look that up for me, please.
Yeah, I don't. I know one Mo. That's Little Mo, and she's a singer.
What
That's all I
about,
know. That's all.
what about Larry Moe and Curly?
Wow, that's Three Stooges, bro. I mean, Little Mo got some pipes. I'm just
I
saying.
wanted to throw this out there. I just seen that Patty Mahomes is only 26.
Only 26.
So obviously, I'm still nowhere near. Nobody can catch 7. But but I think he can get at least 3 more.
Well, what if
listen,
his weapons start leaving though? You can't keep that
That's
team
true.
forever.
they'll get new ones though.
I don't know.
but then it's a dinner will go back to how long is Andy going to be there?
I was right.
Because I'm thinking it's going to be. I'm thinking 3 years max, and he's out of there.
Could be right.
And if his son gets convicted, which we pretty much think it's going to happen, he could at the end of the season be like, I'm done. Or next year would be the trial. Take that as his last year and say, whether we win or lose, this is going to be my last year.
Now, can we bring up a weird side topic here?
Hold on, Andre checking in. What's up, Dre? Says you guys look and sound great. This show rocks as always. Anomaly, Mitchell and Ness. You know how we roll, buddy.
Yes, sir.
You got to get you here eventually, man.
Andre.
I know you busy.
Andre's the king, man.
Listen, his son's kicking ass on the court, man. That's what it's all about.
His son is a young Thad Young.
Yes, left-handed. Yes.
Oh, look at that. All right. We're gonna have to make a trip out to one of those
Don't
games.
sleep on me now.
Yeah, I keep telling Dre I got to get up one of his games.
Yeah, we'll have to get something together where we all can go. Adam says it was Mo Lewis for the Jets.
Wow.
You guys were right. That's Dan.
Woo.
Like I said, man, I got a little Ja Rule, a little Mo in my blood, but that's about it. That's all I know for the Mo trade. But that's
to
a
remember
good pull.
that is
That's a good pull.
Woo.
Yeah, I remember the wrong things, as my wife would tell me.
That's all right. Well, we always break the show off. We only got one more segment left, but we got to go a little Jigsaw Chronicles here, and this I don't know if this is going to be funny in a little way. It's going to be a little serious, but Jigsaw Chronicles today are all about road rage, and it's a serious, but it's funny. And what I mean by that is, number one, did you see that video of that knucklehead in Florida? Like, first of all, he couldn't even hold a gun, bro. Like, it was like blowing him off that you shouldn't even have one then. Like you don't even know how to use it properly. And my thing is, when I'm out on the road, because this is the funny part of it, right? So I want to hear your road rage stories of what makes you just nuts in the sense of what other people do. Like, you're on a 2-lane road, dude's behind you riding it, right? You're going 5-10 miles over speed limit, still not fast enough, right? But at the same time, still not fast enough. But at the same time, what happens is, do you have to fly out 100 miles an hour and like go right in front of it, like you're gonna rip off my front bumper, and then 5 feet you're stopping at a red light anyway?
Right.
Like
I apologize, Tony.
Right? Is that you? Is that Dan Green?
Sometimes.
No way, dude.
Yeah, I don't like going behind slow people. Sorry.
What is slow to you? Cuz
5 miles above the speed limit, Tony. Come on, man. Come on, Grandpa.
Grandpa.
Come on, Pop Kettle.
Listen, man. Listen. I mean, you're talking. Somebody just called you Joey Gladstone, and you're calling me slow.
Joey
I'm just
could drive,
saying, man.
man.
I don't know. Joey could drive. Wait, did Joey even have a car?
They lived in San Francisco. I think they took a bus.
I don't think Joey had a car.
They took the Rice Aroni thing.
I have a road rage off of nobody in the world seems to yield when getting on their expressway anymore.
Oh, they just
nobody cares.
No,
just jump out. I don't care if you're on that road or not. I don't care if you're in that lane. I don't care how fast you're going. I'm just getting on.
Yield means stop.
And if you're in front of me, I don't care. I'm just going to get on anyway. I just don't understand. When did we stop yielding?
Sorry, Al.
You do that too?
Maybe.
But Dan's a resident road rage.
Here's
it's not Dan old school Grace. Dan, it's Dan road rage green.
It's funny.
Yeah, right. Yeah, can we have the road rage takes?
I do have, but here's a story that just happened to me. Here's something that really I kind of laugh and I get angry at the same time. I guess this ties into road rage. How many times have you been in front of that person that the light was red and it's turned green, and you give them that courteous maybe
the little beep, not an extended beep.
Even a little beep after 10 seconds, right? and then you finally you beep them and they give you the finger in the mirror. And then I'm like,
You're beeping too hard. You're beeping too hard.
Yo, look at him. He's getting fired up already.
It's got to be a meat.
And it's always it's always like grandmother too. But anyway, that upsets me when I give them the courteous 10, 15 seconds before I give them the beep, and they give me the finger. I'm like, come on, don't make me cut off and take your bumper off.
Road rage is a two-way street.
It is a two-way street.
You can't be the provoker either.
Yeah.
Like the
No, you're right.
You know, if don't tailgate a guy.
Flick the lights.
Yeah, flicking the lights.
That's a pet peeve of mine.
I don't do that.
You flick the lights on me, I'm going
Like,
slow.
wait-
Yeah.
I don't.
100%.
Exactly. Like, wait for your
100%. Don't
opportunity
flick my
and
lights.
go
I'm already
around them.
going 10, 15 over the
Exactly.
limit. You want to go around me that bad? Go all the way around me. I'm not moving.
You know, this hits close home to me because I got a young driver at home now. And honestly, he said to me, he's like, Dad, I hate driving. I just want to go where I want to go and come home. He's like, people are nuts.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know. Yeah. Like, you probably got Dan Green, Chris, driving behind you, giving you the finger, saying, yo, you're going to go 5 miles an hour with speed limit.
Yeah,
Poor kid's like,
Does
yo, he's
he
dying,
wear a
right?
Chick-fil-A shirt every once in a while?
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
No, hold on. I think Mike's got a good one. Mike says, did you guys discuss the honk the second the light turns green?
Oh,
the man
that is
honker.
annoying too.
Yeah, you're a provoker. That's a provoker.
I'm
does
a
that.
polite.
You're on the provoking side.
My wife would attest to me. Like I tear the horn up because you did one beep. I'm gonna do 5.
Yeah.
Right. Like, what are you beeping at, dude? Relax.
Everybody's such in a rush, man.
My wife would say, "What? Really?" I'm saying, dude, he shouldn't have never beeped at me.
Wait a minute. How about this? How about the Fat Joe lean back? And what I mean by that is the lean backer when okay, we have a left turn arrow, and when the arrow goes away, you stop. Like it's red. Like you can't move up into the middle to turn on the right. No, you need an arrow to turn. That's not just an arrow. It's giving you the right of way in the beginning.
Right.
You can move up.
Right.
Now you don't have to wait for a light now.
Right.
Right? Like it's the Fat Joe lean back. Like stop leaning back, man. Like it's ridiculous, dude. Yeah, it is, man. It's a fat. Or since we talk about ladies, let's go to Remy Ma lean back. That's a little better.
Is you know this the topic that we're talking about here deserves a little. Well, just don't make eye contact with people. If you're caught in that situation where you're being beeped at or you're beeping, my suggestion would be keep your eyes straight ahead. Don't make eye contact with these lunatics that are shooting people one-handed like they're Jesse James.
Yeah, like
in Florida. I mean,
what was that dude doing?
Just let's have more peace on the roads. People,
it is
please.
crazy.
Peace in the streets, as they used to say.
Yeah, you're right. You just stay away from Dan on the road. Obviously, we obviously have found that out, right?
Just tell your son to text Dan and see where he's at when he goes out.
You know what I am.
He could put me in Life 360 and we could keep track of each other.
Yeah, definitely, man. No, it is absolutely ridiculous. Now, again, nobody got a trivia question. Again, still waiting for answers.
That was kind of hard.
Well, we
what
appreciate
two
our honest
NFL
audience,
coaches
though.
force each other the most?
No Google.
Force. What two NFL coaches face each other the most in NFL playoff games? And the bonus, how many times? So if anybody gets it, obviously let us know.
Do
Now,
we drop a hint, Tone?
what? Yeah, we could drop a hint.
One of the coaches,
No, that's too easy.
One of the coaches was a coach. All right.
No,
I can't give the hint. I can't give the hint.
Say the other hint. Say your name. That helps.
Say AFC.
Yeah, they're both AFC.
There you go, both AFC.
They have to be. Yeah, unless they would.
Your name helps though.
Mike wants to know when the call line's getting set up. Mike, I'm working on that. I do have a Google Voice number.
That's going to take us to another level.
We do have capabilities.
Sick.
I do have on the mixer right here. I have an option to hook the phone up that I can run numbers through my phone and put them live on the air. So that I promise you, it is coming. So we will get a call line and a text line. So that should be
And
very,
a producer
very
to screen the
interesting.
calls, I would hope.
Yeah, well, we do need a producer.
Joe
Because
from
I
Mount
can't do
Airy.
this. Yeah, it's
Violation. Didn't you just call?
Yeah.
exactly. Oh, look, Mike says can't wait to bring the Delco to you. That's all I'm talking about. We'll get you on here, Mike. Absolutely, 100%. So let's talk a little Super Bowl here, right? I'm gonna bring my man Jay up for a little bit, just for about 10 minutes, because after that I'm probably gonna have enough. But Love the dude to death, but he's going to be yelling at me, calling me Jigsaw, halfway down the lane, turning his head, not talking into the microphone. But he's getting undressed for this segment. But let's talk. Relax, Jay. Keep it on. But so let's talk about this. Another great weekend of football, right? And historic moments. We've had some very, very, very good historic moments that have happened. We talked about it in the beginning. So Super Bowl is now set, Rams and Bengals. And one thing I could say, before we even talk about who the preliminary bet is, one thing I could say is I'm just happy to see somebody different. That's all I want to. I know the Rams have been there, but not Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford, he went where people go to die, and he put his time in the Motor City.
Yes.
And finally he gets a chance. And then the Bengals, man, we talked about it earlier. Joe Burrow. The closest thing, you know what, Nick? It's funny you say that. Kind of like the Joe Namath-esque, right? You know, Broadway Joe kind of style. So.
It is, man. He's just so chill and composed, and even on and off the field, man. You just like this kid a lot.
Yup. No, you do. Because he's not popping off. You know what I mean? He's just dialed in, man. He's dialed in. So Jay, bring you up, man.
Yes.
Sports Kill Radio. You can follow Sports Kill Radio, obviously, on all social formats. He's part of the Heat Radio Sports Network. And every Sunday morning, 10 a.m. You got to get Kelly. You got 11 a.m. You got to get Kelly back on, man. I miss Kelly.
I do. And we're going to be doing more basketball coming up. So that's her wheelhouse.
There you go. There you go. So, Jay, Super Bowl, man. What do you think, buddy? What's your overall? What was your takeaway from the weekend and the big dance coming up in 2 weeks?
Well, I'll tell you, I think it's going to be a very good Super Bowl because you look at the playoffs up to this point, and every game has been close. Has been a nail biter. It's coming down to the fourth quarter, late in the game. It has been a nail biter, and I would expect nothing less out of the Super Bowl because you look at the Bengals. And they are a very gritty team.
They are.
Who would have expected the Cincinnati Bengals to be in the Super Bowl? If we had taken a poll in late August or early September of all the teams that we thought would be in the Super Bowl, who would have thought Cincinnati Bengals would be in the Super Bowl at this point?
They were plus 20,000.
No one from Cincinnati. I bet. I'll say
20,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Could you imagine cashing in that ticket if you would have bet on that? Now, a lot of people would have bet on the Rams because you look at the Rams and they pushed all their chips into the center.
Yes, they did.
They went all in. They gave up draft picks. They traded. They did everything and pushed all their chips into the center. Cincinnati Bengals, one of the cheapest teams in the NFL. You look at their practice facilities. You look at everything. They're one of the cheapest teams in the NFL.
They still owned by the Browns. Is that a Brown ownership still?
Mike Brown, yeah.
Mike Brown, right? Okay.
Yeah.
No, you're right, Jay.
But, I mean, you look at it. You look at the practice facility. They're one of the cheapest teams. You would not have expected the Cincinnati Bengals to be where they are. And you look at that, and you look at Joe Burrow coming off of an injury.
Yeah, good point.
And you asked me about the Super Bowl. I think it's going to come down to the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line versus the Rams defensive line.
That's
because
a good point.
The Rams are loaded on their defensive line. They're loaded on their defense. But can the Bengals offensive line hold up against the Rams defensive line? If they can, Joe Burrow's ice. He has ice water in his veins. He can
baby.
And Jamar Chase, he had the two of them linking up against.
Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon. They have Cincinnati Bengals have the talent on offense. It's just, can the offensive line hold up against the
Aaron Donald,
against
Ron Miller.
Ron Miller. That's going to be the key in my estimation to determining the Super Bowl.
You got a good point because that's what happened, Jay, in that game is, in the beginning, they were getting to Joe Burrow. The offensive line was terrible. And, Nick, when you watch it, I don't know who he is, number 75, number 76, but he was terrible on the offensive line. Whoever that right tackle was terrible. But Offensive line, you think that's the key, Nick?
Yeah, their offensive line is not good. You know, I mean, they did not build this team, to win the line of scrimmage. They built this team to get weapons, and in Higgins, in Chase, in Burrow, in Mixon,
Uzomah.
even Tyler Boyd. I mean, they've
I don't
got.
think so.
No,
That was
He was pretty bad injury.
Yeah, I think he's on.
Yeah, he's
That's soft.
all
He tore his
torn up.
MCL.
that sucks.
But listen, I mean, they didn't have the offensive line against Kansas City, and they managed to do it. So, at the end of the day, yes, I agree with Jay. I mean, it's going to come down to offensive, defensive line play. I think Burrow will take his fair share of sacks, but I think they've got enough weapons offensively to overcome, and be able to produce offensively. And I think defensively they can possibly keep the Rams at bay, in at least in the first half, and then you'll see some adjustments made by both teams. But to me, when you look at what happened over the last 2 weekends of football, the Cincinnati Bengals look unstoppable. And I know that's, you say that.
Crazy
okay,
to hear that, ain't it?
Right,
Oh my
God. I sound like a knucklehead saying that. But
Maybe more of a team of destiny than unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, they just look like they're going out there to win football games, and that's it, and they're not going to be stopped. The Rams have had their moments, obviously. They got to the big dance. But for me, man, I don't know if we're putting out wagers right now. Like I said earlier in the show, on January 2nd, I put a wager in at plus 1,800 for them to win it, and I think I'm gonna ride it through. But at plus 4, every single one of these games in the last 2 weekends, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, is every single one of these games gone into overtime and
3 points,
all
man.
except for one being a 3-point game.
Yeah.
So how do you not go with the Bengals? I like the Bengals to win it, and I really love them at plus 4.
Yeah, that's a really good number. And Mike says Rams D may eat all day. Ramsey on Chase all over the field at Dan. That's the thing about, Nick mentioned, Jay mentioned the offensive line. Nick was talking about receivers. You were mentioning receivers. That's the thing about this team, that they do go 4 deep. I mean, even Alden Tate as a fourth receiver can come in and has some size. But, I mean, you got a triple threat of Boyd, Higgins, and Chase. And that's one thing, Dan, that I will say about McVay, which is a reason why he's one of my man crushes, is he was very smart. One of the guys who played a lot in that game and made a lot of plays was Eric Weddle. And what he did was he told Weddle, be ready. I'm bringing you back for the playoff run. Be ready. And Weddle has to get the beat. And now you have Weddle coming up. And here's why it's so scientific of what he did. Because if you remember at the beginning of the year, Jalen Ramsey was coming up more than ever in his career, stopping the run. Now he can play one-on-one coverage with Jamar Chase, and now he's got Weddle coming up inside the box and being that run stuffer, which he's always been in his career. So, Dan, right. I mean, what they're thinking about, is this kind of like the best case scenario for Cincinnati with those 3 receivers to go up against this Rams defense?
Well, yeah, I mean, you referenced Ramsey, and as good as he is, Mike Evans torched him. And they were
good receiver though, man.
No, he's a great receiver, right? But so is Jamar Chase, and so and if he does shut down Chase, you got Higgins and Boyd on the other side, or in the slot.
It's tough. It's tough to stop.
But I can't argue with my colleagues to my right. I guess the viewers left. It all comes down
always
to
dramatic.
It comes down to line play.
Freaking English teacher.
It comes down to line play.
What's up, Jay?
Can I bring up this thing?
Bring it up, baby. Let's go.
All right. Matthew Stafford, can he be counted on maybe one possible turnover a game? And also, which team do you think will be better at making the halftime adjustments? Because we saw Cincinnati make some halftime adjustments and be able to come back. So, maybe Cincinnati is better at making the halftime adjustments than the Rams. And Stafford, could he be counted on one, maybe 2 possible turnovers a game?
That's a good point about Stafford, because he didn't have the greatest game. And did you guys hear? Was it Troy saying, "I feel like he's injured. He's underthrowing all the balls and right." So Jay, it's a good point. I mean, honestly, because they're going to show him a lot of different looks, obviously, because they've seen, and he was limping around too. He got hurt, like he was getting hit hard.
Yeah.
So no, I think you're right. I think, listen, if there's a wager, like I had plus money on a Patrick Mahomes interception last week, I was plus 105, and I'm sure if it's plus money for Matthew Stafford, I'm taking that bet all day, Jay.
And that could be a difference in the game.
It could be. It only takes one turnover.
Yep.
The other thing, though, I mean, I agree with, again, everything that was just said, but as smart as McVay is, he's going to look at the halftime adjustments that they made against a prolific Kansas City offense. And the Rams are also a prolific offense.
Yeah.
So I think the adjustments that were made on the Chiefs can actually help the Rams with their scouting on the film to make the make the necessary readjustments to the adjustments, if that makes sense. Listen, the bottom line is somehow, some way, it's going to be a theatrical Super Bowl because it's just been a theatrical playoffs. So I agree with everyone. I agree with Nick that, +4 is a good number. I just think it's going to be a close game. Cincinnati will find a way to keep it close. But that being said, if the Rams get off to a fast start before the adjustments can actually be made, where they make it a significant lead, that's where I was talking earlier, where Kansas City to me was getting too cute. They were playing with the mouse in the first half, and they could have put that game away. And if the Chiefs kept their foot on the gas pedal, that game would have been well over by halftime.
We haven't really talked about the comparison to the two run games either. I mean,
Good point.
Significant advantage to Cincinnati. I mean, does Sony Michel? I know you're a big Akers guy.
I'm a huge Cam Akers guy.
I mean, he's not really. He put the ball on the ground twice in that game against Tampa Bay.
He didn't put it on last week, though.
He didn't put it on last week, but what did he really shine last week? I mean, it was the Cooper Cup show, and at the end of the day,
it's going to be a Cooper Cup.
Odell was great too.
Odell, man, I had that plus money bet too.
Yeah,
over 4.5.
I mean, those two guys are really at the end of the day are going to be whether this team goes on to hoist a trophy or not. I think Cooper Cup to me has got to have the same kind of games he's been having throughout this whole playoff. Really, the whole season. Obviously, he's probably the MVP of the league. I mean, he's close to it anyway.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I know, Everett's Rodgers, but I mean, when you talk about receivers, I mean, he is just absolutely a stud, man. He's just heart doesn't cover. He
came
can't
out of nowhere.
Little by little, he inched his way every year. He got a little bit better, Tone. And it's been for 4 or 5 years now.
They say he's a student of the game too. He watches more film study than anybody on that team.
Exactly. So but Mixon.
That's a good point about the run game.
If Mixon can get into a groove and catch the ball out of the backfield and get yardage receiving as well as rushing, he could be another sustained drives, keep things going, allow them to start play action a little bit. Now you start hitting Higgins and Chase, down the field. Unbelievable route runner, obviously Jamar Chase. It's good. I hope it's a good game. I think it'll be close. We like the +4. I think.
Yeah, I like that number. I like that number. I think it's a great point about the running game because we talk about it all the time. We say defense and running games wins championships, right? It's one between the trenches. So when you get into the big dance, you got to be able to run the football in order to win a game. You're not gonna listen. It's what happened in the second half. The Chiefs went full aerial attack and they couldn't do it. Right? It's one of the biggest signs. Even though Buffalo lost, but remember Buffalo started to get hot because they started to rely back on a running game with Devin Singletary to open up that passing game. So I think it's a great point. 100%, it's a great point. But we haven't even thought. We're going to end this show on the best part for me. And again, listen, everybody knows me by now. Jigsaw's a music guy. But I cannot wait for the halftime show for the Super Bowl. If you can, I don't care what era you're from, right? If you can't get up for some Mary J, for some Snoop, some Dre, some M, and some Lamar, my God. Like, they finally listened. Like, no more of that crap. Like, well, just like this group you never heard of, or no offense against Katy Perry, but come on, man, this is a show.
And they've had like a year to put this all together, too. Man. The production's got to be just insane.
It better be, man. Listen, so let's do this. Like here we go. Like, let's throw this out here. So, no, we're talking about betting, right? So you see these names right here. You got Mary J, you got Snoop, you got Dre, Kendrick Lamar, and Eminem. Who opens the halftime show with the mic in her hand?
I would love to see Dr. Dre out there with Snoop.
Yeah,
Just like to bring it like all the way full circle
yo,
with those two out there.
just to hear
Like
that.
him behind, yeah.
Yo, I mean, I don't know, man. Is it ladies first?
Well,
You got to go Queen of Soul.
You kind of said who's gonna start with the mic in her hand.
Right.
So,
Well, right.
So I'm gonna
Like in their hand.
so I'm gonna go
Right.
Mary J. Blige.
I don't know, man. Jay, what do you got? What do you think, man? Who's opening up this show? I know you're a closet Snoop guy.
Jay might be worse than me on this
Jay's a
topic.
closet Snoop guy. I know it. He's banging that nothing but a G thing on the
Snoop
line.
does the Corona commercials, Jay.
Come
Jay,
on.
I am going to be the dissenting vote up here.
Eminem.
I am going to be getting snacks while the halftime show is on and listening to it in the
Jay.
background.
Jay,
Yes.
you are killing. You're killing me,
I
man.
am killing
Yeah.
this entire panel up here.
You are killing. Listen.
Yes.
Tom, could you just picture like just Dr. Dre, just like all black, just like him behind
gotta
the
be
record
Dre.
player, like DJing behind the record
gotta be
player,
Dre.
Yeah.
and then just him and Snoop, like they were like in the back room of LA playing in a club of 300 people. Like I want to
Levy,
see that,
I'm with you.
and then I want to see. It
And if you
explode.
think about it, Nick, Dre has had an influence on every single one of these artists.
Yeah.
Right?
he brought in Eminem, right?
Yep, he
Brought
founded
in
Eminem.
Snoop.
He founded Snoop. He was a big promoter of Mary J. Remember Mary J had a tough upbringing, man. That's why she wore the shades. She had the scar on her cheek, so it was to get her out of the mold. And obviously Kendrick Lamar, who I get. Listen, shout out. And I know he'll listen eventually, but he'll hear this one day. But Sean Briggs, me and Briggsby battling it with the Kendrick Lamar because I don't think Kendrick Lamar is all that. But that's me. I would take Eminem any day of the week. So, but I'm with you, Nick. I would love to see Dre open that up. I mean, just bring back some memories, man. Just bring back some memories. Leave it to the boomers. They would Bob Dylan doing it. Listen, it's going to be one hell of a halftime show. But one thing for sure, this show was fantastic tonight. Again, brought to you by Steam Pub. Follow at Steam Pub on all social formats. We want to thank them for hosting us as well. We want to thank everybody for coming out. We want to thank Jay. We want to thank Nick, Dan, Al, Nikki Nuts is here. Pittsburgh John Coker is here. People in the audience who still did not get the trivia question. So we're not going to give that away. Because we still got a week before the Super Bowl, right? So we can formulate this again and let this kind of, again, don't cheat. But think about this. Let it resonate and see if you can get it. Get us on Twitter at Heat Ratio Sports, Instagram at Heat Ratio Sports. Make sure you're subscribing, hitting the tag. Dan, it looks like you got something. You got something?
I got nothing.
No, the hand was coming out.
No,
like
I'm just
the English teacher again. Like
I'm a physical education teacher. Don't insult me by calling me an English
well, you're
teacher.
so grammatical though for a phys ed teacher. Though.
Hey, don't stereotype.
Okay, I'm sorry. But for everybody checking in, as always, give us a follow. We appreciate it. And we'll sign off. As always, I just say, everybody stay safe, stay healthy. We'll catch you right back here at Steam next week.